All right, should we do some Wombat's Fortnightly news?
There was big Fortnite news. That's not, it's sort of game related, but not quite game related. Donald Mustard, the creator of Fortnite, retired.
Oh,
He left the industry. He said, you know what? I had enough. I want to spend more time with my wife and family before my kids get out of the house. And there he is.
now
He's
when you
out.
say he's the creator of Fortnite, like what does that mean?
Like it was the basic game was his idea, as far as I know. Like he was the guy who said we should make Fortnite. And they made Fortnite, and he was the creative director for the game up until, I mean, who knows how, I'm assuming up until about a week ago, he was the creative director of the game. So he came up with the game, the basic gameplay, all of those characters. The storyline was all him,
The motion capture for the dance moves, it's all him.
but he had a big part in it, a big part in, and all of and what made Fortnite.
Now, do you think
Not a dummy.
No. Do you think he like got paid, or do you
Yes.
think he just got
No. He's posted from his house, like sitting on his porch, and you could tell that he's living in someplace real nice.
No, but isn't Epic in like North Carolina or something? Like you could
He
buy
lives,
like
I think,
a
in
mansion
Colorado.
for like.
He doesn't
Oh,
live in.
okay.
Yeah, he
I
lives
just want to
wherever he
know,
wants.
like, if you work for a company like Epic, or if you work for Epic, and you come up with like like literally $1 billion game.
I believe he may actually be a billionaire from the game.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
I could do a net worth. Let's see what it says.
No, don't bother. Those are all bullshit.
I know. Yeah. So, I mean, they say his net worth is $10 million on here. So who knows? Maybe he's not worth that much.
That's all bullshit anyway. All right, what's this next item we got here?
Well, I was going to say, and they replaced him with this guy named Charlie Wen, which is a very interesting hire because what he did in the past prior to taking over Fortnite was he came up with the design for Kratos for God of War. Not the game, but the actual character design.
Okay.
For Kratos, he's the guy who came up with that. And he also did most of the phase 1 character designs for the MCU. So he designed Loki and Thor and the Captain America costume, and a lot of, those iconic looks were designed by this guy, and that's who they got to replace Donald Mustard. I'm very interested to see what he could do.
You got an artist to replace him?
Basically, yeah. He's the chief creative officer. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
All
right. Is it time to talk about Starfield?
We could talk about Garfield now.
Yes.
So what level are you now?
Space travel.
I'm only an hour in, so I'm going to listen for most of this.
Okay. I am about 8 hours in, I would say. So I'm level 9.
Okay. And I am also level 9. I want to say maybe like 7 to 8 hours in.
I also want to say I did a pretty good job of really learning much about the game before playing it. I saw couple of videos. I watched that one playthrough video that they put out, like that was a big deal a couple months ago. That was pretty much it. Like I didn't really read anything about it or, I don't know. It really, to me, I was disappointed in how much it felt like Skyrim in space. Like in that all the space stuff.
Oh, no, see, I think it feels like Fallout in space.
Oh, well, Fallout in space. Yes, because it has guns. But to be honest, I'm using a sword because I find that the sword weapons are much more effective. So it is like Skyrim. But what I mean by that is that all the space travel, anything that is space and new for this game, besides like the design and art, feels like wedged in. I mean, to me, everything is, my opinion.
I think where the game kind of falters and where it diverts from a Bethesda game, even from like a Fallout and a Skyrim, is Skyrim has scope in a way that this game pretends to have scope. Whereas in Skyrim, when you go outside and for that first time and you're in the big open world, and you open your map and you see how big that map is and the amount of time it would take to walk across the map of Skyrim.
Right.
It'd take a long time. I mean, no one would do that, but that's there, and that's 10 years ago or however long ago, longer. This game is sort of takes that out, and it's really a lot of fast travel and it's almost as if it was Skyrim, but instead of there being a map, you're just fast traveling to the dungeon. And you open the door, and the inside of a dungeon looks like, I think I've been to like 3 caves so far. So it's like, okay, so now I'm on the inside of this cave, and I just fast travel to another cave. Oh yeah, that's right. I'll fast travel back to the headquarters now. So it kind of took, even though it's supposed to be like different solar systems and planets.
And huge scope. Like bigger than Skyrim. Skyrim's one planet, right? Like one area.
It feels like pretend scope.
Yes.
Like manufactured scope that isn't really there. And I feel I know you said this game feels too much like Skyrim. I think it probably would have been a better game if they stuck to one map.
I just meant mechanically. Like, I didn't mean like vibes or feeling or anything. I just strictly meant like the bones of the game.
I like the idea of the space theme, but planets are big. You don't have to have multiple planets. They probably could have gotten away with your ship crash landed on this planet, and now you're stuck here. Figure it out, and that could have been the whole thing if they were able to have that kind of scope of, if they were able to say we have a whole planet for you to explore. That would actually be a bigger game than the hundreds of planets apparently that are in this game.
So, but I haven't played much of it, but from what I've gathered so far and my feelings on it seems like it's similar to like Mass Effect in that like there's planets, but then you land and you're like, oh, this is the area of the planet that I can actually do something on, right?
Yes.
Like this is the mission part of the planet.
It's very much like Mass Effect in that. Mm-hmm. Yes, you go to the planet, you could go to these 3 buildings on the planet. Then once you're done with those 3 buildings on that planet, you've seen the whole planet and you could go to you're on to the next thing, which works for Mass Effect because Mass Effect has a very deliberate storyline and pacing and game structure.
Yeah, it's
Mass Effect.
It's essentially it's linear, but with some side quest or some choices on the order of events, but it's very much still a linear beginning to end.
Exactly, and it works better. The game plays better. As someone who played all 3 Mass Effect games, what was it, last year? I could say that physically, like the game just handles better than Starfield so far handles. I think Bethesda games get away with a lot when you're in that big open world.
Sure,
and when you take
that's the appeal.
Yeah, right? And when you take that away, it highlights flaws that didn't need to be highlighted.
Do you feel like there's like no soul to this game in a way?
Kinda.
Like it feels like such a video game. It doesn't feel. I'm not sucked into a world of a futuristic space world. I'm like Wombat said, like I'm just fast. I'm pressing X to do everything. Every X to everywhere. XO. I'm on the planet and I need to go to another planet. No need to go back to my ship. Press X to Venus. I'm there. Like I don't have to go back. It's just always like the ship is. It's just fast track. Their ship doesn't need to be there, right? It's just a mechanic they put into the game so give the player you could have a building system, so they could repurpose the outpost system from the Fallout games, right? It's repurposed into more outposts in this and also shipbuilding. But at the end of the day, the ship is really just.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, of course. The ship is really just.
You okay?
All right. Well, I'm just going to check that out. Somebody had a bad time playing Starfield, I think. The game feels old to me. Like, it doesn't deliver on the promise of
I heard him screaming.
Exploration. Oh my God, this is better than the show. Hold on, we got to listen to what's going on here. Everything's okay, I think. I think this was just a video. Elliot is playing probably video games.
Hi, I'm back. Sorry.
Was this a video game excitement?
No, something he opened the freezer and something fell out of the freezer and landed on Elliot's foot. And apparently hurt a lot.
Yikes. Okay.
A piece of frozen chicken breast fell onto his foot.
Dude, you got to be careful with that stuff. That heavy stuff in the freezer.
Yeah. So everything's fine.
Yeah. I was saying that the ship, which is supposed to be like, space travel, obviously a huge part of a fucking space game, right? Or this game, at least it seemed like it was supposed to be. But to me, it really is. It's the only point is to participate in the dog fighting that is really just interrupting your fast travel.
Yeah,
right?
It's none of it's necessary.
None of it seems like it's
their building mechanic. It doesn't. Yeah, none of it is anything I want to do. That's the problem. None of it is anything I want to do.
I feel like have you played No Man's Sky recently? Have you checked it out?
I mean, I've played No Man's Sky.
I feel like I know it seems like a small and stupid thing, but like in that game, you can just you can fly to the planets and choose where you land. And when you're doing that, it immerses you in the world more. Like you're flying in, you see the ground approach slowly, like you can't see anything at first. It slowly comes into vision. It's much more exciting than just hitting X to fast travel and watching cutscenes, like the cutscenes to land, cutscenes to take off, cutscenes to dock with other ships. I don't know. It just all seems like the combat is flat and video game like.
I read somewhere. Do you know how many different types of ammo are in this game?
I don't.
I believe it's over 20.
I mean, that's the one thing I'm sure to pick up whenever I see it.
Yeah, you just pick because it doesn't. It's one of the few things you could just pick up. All of it, I guess. Although I never seem to have enough.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
Why is it? I mean, there should be like 5 types of ammo at most. Shotgun.
I'd like you to try
rifle, pistol.
I'd like you to try this strategy in combat next time because it is, like you say, it is annoying to track all the ammo and you run out. Get an axe. You probably have the axe, right?
I have a an axe that has like an ability attached.
Okay.
Like a super axe.
Just boost right in these guys' face, jump in the air, boost up, land on them, axe them up. It's like 3 shots with an axe. They're dead. Move on to the next guy. Buy like 12 health packs. That's it. That's all I do. I just got a fucking samurai, like a ninja sword. I forgot what it was called. It was some like. Now you'll go down in 2 shots. I was in like a space station. This was actually like it was almost a cool moment. I see like a ship. I found some abandoned like weapons facility or something. And then I see like a ship just sitting there on the ground outside of the facility. I'm like, wait, that's not my ship. Can I like go in the ship and see what's going on? Go in the ship. It's like one of the bad guys, the epileptics.
The pirates.
I don't know, not the epileptic, ecliptics.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Uh-huh.
I go on the ship. I open the door. It loads, of course. You don't just open the door and go in. Everything's fucking like waiting for loading. It's just like a cluster of like 5 guys just standing there, like slow to do. Oh, there's a guy just there. I use my power where it makes everybody fly in the air, just like float in the air. I have my sword. I go, they're wearing so much armor and everything, makes no difference. I'm like, whoop, whoop, whoop. They're all dead. 5 guys, all dead, blood everywhere. And now it's my ship. I steal the ship. Now my crew is on the ship. But the funny thing is all these dead bodies are still on the ship. I don't know how to get rid of the dead bodies. And there's blood everywhere from me killing them. So like
my crew. You have the little girl on your ship too?
I have, yes, the little girl is on the ship and there's just like dead bodies. The crew members, this is kind of funny. I don't know if it's intentional or I'm just like seeing something that's not really there. But the crew members are sitting at their station and there's like a dead body on the floor next to them. And I see them look over every once in a while. And I don't know if they would just look over anyway, but it looks really funny because like they're just like bodies piled up and blood splattered everywhere. I don't know if you can clean that. I like the ship, like it's slightly better than the one that you start with, but it is weird. The dead bodies are weird.
That's funny.
Yes,
I guess I need to start checking out more ships at the spaceport.
But I don't know. Like you say, when you said there's nothing you really want to do in the game. That's kind of the problem. The combat. Now, I watched the video of the combat on PC, And at 60 frames per second and everything moving very smoothly, it almost looks like a different game. I saw a guy.
Maybe it is. Maybe that is the problem. I honestly don't know what the problem
I watched the video,
is.
and the title of the video was like the guys playing it like the game that you like from Arcane. What's the called? Dishonored? Not Dishonored.
Yeah, Dishonored.
Dishonored. Here's a guy playing Starfield like Dishonored, and he's using, you know how you get powers in Starfield. So he's using the powers to like go invisible and like pop up and slash them with the sword and then jump over there and it looks a lot better at 60 frames per second. It looks like a real combat focused game, which I don't know, man. It's another thing that makes the game look old or feel old. It doesn't really look old. It feels old. The fucking 30 frames per second first person shooter. 2023, we're still doing that. Like this is really like. It is a first-person shooter. Like, that's a big part of the game.
So you're playing in first person?
I mean,
when you're in combat, not being in first person.
Yeah, you can play in third.
In combat, though? Like, how's that going to work?
I don't know.
That's going to be rough.
When I'm roaming around towns and I'm talking to people and I'm in the house with the other people, I'll be in third person. When I'm doing combat, I switch to first.
It's just a lot of this, I don't know. The immersion is broken a lot in this game. Like you can hit your own guys. They don't care. You shoot them with your superpowers. They go flying over and they just get right back up. Like, hey, how you doing? I don't know. I'm disappointed in the game. I got to say, like, I'm not mad at it. It didn't like offend me, but I am disappointed.
I guess I need to play more. I don't know. Like I played that hour and I'm like, all right. Like I played Fallout. I never got super into Fallout. Like I loved Skyrim, but I think it was just because I liked the world of Skyrim.
Well, I think that's part of it.
And then this is just like I don't even understand. Like the beginning of the game, it's like, oh, this guy's just giving me his ship. Like that was.
Well, you'll see why that happens later, but
sure. But it was like, I don't know, like the whole like early storyline just seemed.
It's not as engaging as I'm a guy who broke out of prison that's caught in the middle of this civil war, and now I have to go from town to town and I don't know, make friends with the mayor. I mean, for some reason that works much better than this game.
That I'm a space miner, like.
Yeah, I'm a space miner / space cowboy smuggler. Now I have a ship and a crew, and I gotta kill these bandits. Like, why have I killed 70 people? Why?
Well, I did. The first thing I went to, I was like murdering guys left or right, like the whatever hideout, because they were trying to shoot. I don't know. It's part of the main story. Like
they shot me. Yeah,
they were shooting us down, and we're like, oh no, we gotta land and take out this base, or they'll never start dogfighting us. And I'm like, please make them stop dogfighting us because I am not enjoying this dogfighting. So I land and I'm just like killing guys left or right, and then it gets to like the boss of it, and it's like, hey, see if you can like convince this guy that there's nothing on your ship. I'm like, all right. Like I talk him out of it, and it's just like, all right, sorry about killing all your guys back there. I guess you believe me that there's nothing wrong, and I'm just gonna leave now. Just like X back to the ship, and out I went. And I'm like, right. All right, I feel like I know what this game is.
You do know what it is if you played the previous Bethesda RPGs. That's what this is with the added,
but it isn't.
Like, space
That's the
travel.
problem.
With not even the space travel, space combat. There really is no space travel, right? It's fast travel.
There's no. It's all fast travel. There's no overworld, and that's what makes it not like every other Bethesda game you've ever played.
Right. So it is space combat, not space travel, and that breaks the immersion for me. And that, I guess, I just put the finger on it. That's what it is. It's the space combat with no space travel, where No Man's Sky did the space travel first, right? And then later they added space combat. I don't know.
I'm telling you, the game would have been better on just one planet.
Yes. If they reduced the scope of the game, I think, because there really is no big scope of the game. Like you say, it's an illusion. It wouldn't be reducing
the scope. They could have made a map that was probably larger than this map.
A more focused scope.
Exactly.
Are there aliens in this game? Are there aliens?
I don't know.
It's all people.
There must be. I fought a monster. Like, is a monster alien count? Or do you mean like an alien you could talk to?
Like aliens you can talk to. It just seems like...
Yeah, there's a lot of humans you could talk to.
Like when I was making my character creator, it was just like, oh, it's a human. Oh, it's a human.
No cat people.
There's other human. Yeah, there's no cat people. There's no
cat people. There's no
there's
lizard people. There's no like dark blue
if you're gonna make it like video gamey, because it's already video gamey because it's a Bethesda game, like make it fun. And give some like options here. Make some different like
there's a charm to Fallout in all of the tongue-in-cheeky,
it's got a personality. I haven't figured out if this game has a personality at all.
No.
It doesn't have that person. It doesn't have that's what it's missing. It's missing the wacky, the sort of craziness of Skyrim, as far as like you said, with all these different character types and all of the, that whole world of vampires and werewolves and elves, and it doesn't have that, and it doesn't have this sort of tongue-in-cheek super hyper personality of a Fallout. It doesn't have either of those things, and it doesn't have a new hook that's going to keep bringing you back. Sorry, Garfield, we're mean.
That's a good game.
Or not. No offense.
No offense.
No offense. It's not a good game.
Maybe they're gonna figure it out or something. I don't know.
I don't know either. And I'm not saying I'll never play it again. I'm just saying I'm not running home to play it. My son actually asked me today, he goes, why aren't you playing Starfield? Because I was playing Madden instead. Because why aren't you playing?
It's a little boring. It's a little boring. Mrs. Chibi does not like watching it. She thinks visually it's flat. Like the environments.
Like I was looking around the rooms and just like picking up stuff, right? Like it's typical Bethesda game where it's like highlighting all the stuff that you're picking up. And I'm like, this is just not like everything's just kind of
there.
It seems like washed out or there. Like it doesn't have the visuals of like a Skyrim where it's, I don't know, it's got the medieval fantasy look to it
there was that uniqueness of each little town. Like when you're in Whiterun, you're in Whiterun based on all the shields and the drapes and the castle and the, yes, there's definitely something different to be said about.
It just feels very sterile. Like everything is just.
And maybe it's there later in the game.
It might be like maybe I need to play this for 70
but am I going
to
get to that point is a different, I shouldn't have to wait that long. Anyway, I think
has anything happened in like you guys have played like 8 hours or something?
I met the bisexual cowboy with a daughter.
Okay.
And
she lives in my blood-soaked spaceship.
Yes.
The daughter and the cowboy.
I keep being told to check the inventory on my ship. Like I need to check that out. So then I go and I look at the inventory on my ship, but that quest just won't go away. And I find that to be incredibly frustrating.
I've had a thing happen where it's like, use your scanner to find the distortion. You have to do that. That's how you get your... Oh, let's talk about that. Have you gotten any powers yet?
Nope.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. You get powers in the game like Mass Effect.
Exactly. Yeah, I haven't gotten one of those yet. I didn't even know you could do that, by the way, until you said it.
Right. It's exactly like Mass Effect in that way, in that like, so you get powers and there's like a process for it. Like you find the temple has the power. When you go inside the temple, you first of all use your scanner to find the disturbance in the scanner. When it vibrates, then they go in that direction. That's how you find the temple. Go inside the temple. There's a big spinning orb, and then these lights these things flash in the sky, and you boost around, and you hit them you're floating in zero gravity. You boost around, you hit the light. As you hit one, then another one pops up. You do enough in a row, you get the superpower. That's the mini game you play. And holy fuck, does it get annoying. I was just doing it today, and I literally said, I was by myself, empty house. Holy fuck, this is annoying. And it makes you do it every time. It's just like killing time. This is not interesting. It's not as interesting as even going into like a dungeon somewhere and killing bad guys and finding a superpower in a box. That would be
in Skyrim,
100 times more interesting.
You would get to the end of the dungeon, there'd be a wall, and you walk up to the wall, and you would press X for magic, and that would be it.
It's dumb. It was not interesting. So I got 2 superpowers now, or 3. I have 3 now. And the other
3 more than I have.
The other hilarious thing is each of these superpowers is like some symbol, like some alien symbol. I don't even know what it is. Alien symbol? Sure, why not? And you put it on your little, speed menu thing. They're just alien symbols. It's not like you could look at a symbol and go, oh, that's my gravity wave, because that's the symbol for gravity. It's like a collection of random dots and lines. They're meaningless. There's no, I don't know. It's a lot of weird decisions in the game. It's not really cool to like make fun of stuff, but there's just a lot of material there.
I expect there to be many, many a patch.
There was one today.
I know.
But it didn't do much.
Nope.
They say mods are coming to the Xbox version.
I don't want mods. I don't, I'm not that I'm anti-mod. If that's your thing, then more power to you. But I want the game to be the game that they made, not
space
the
travel
game
mod.
Yes, that someone in their basement said, "Oh, this is what the game should be."
Oh, you forgot to have space travel in your space game. Yeah. In your space travel game.
Anyway.
That's the biggest disappointment for me.